I agreed to serve on ECHO's board of directors because I really love the mission about really trying to reduce the prevalence of child abuse across the state of Kentucky. I know after I've seen kids be abused and the numbers that are actually of abuse that are happening across our state and our nation, I think it's super important that we influence kids and families up front and really place our funding into preventative care. So that's why I chose to sit on the board.
I wanted to serve on ECHO's board of directors because I fully support ECHO's mission of preventing and reducing child abuse in our community. As a board member, I wanted the opportunity to amplify that mission and shed light on the issue of child abuse.
I agreed to serve on the board because of my passion for kids. I know your passion as well for kids and child abuse prevention. So when given the opportunity and talking to you about the mission of the organization and what I could possibly add to the organization as well, I thought it was a perfect fit. It goes with my core beliefs as a judge, and I would do anything to keep a child safe.
Honestly, because Sonia called me. She said, "Hey, Miguel," and I said, "Hey, what?" And you know, there it is, right? I had no idea what ECHO was. I had heard of ECHO the shoes, ECHO the clothing company, but now there's ECHO child prevention, you know, as it relates to child abuse. And I said, wow, this is a unique thing. Let's jump on here and see what this is. And anything that Sonia has her hands on is going to be successful. And she said she needed help, right? And so when your friends call to give aid, you show up. I had no idea that it was an organization that is really kind of dear to my heart because I grew up in an abusive household. Many of my friends grew up in abusive households, and so we understand the dynamics of child abuse in multiple ways, probably more so than most. There are a lot of people who are advocates for child abuse and who have never experienced it firsthand. So when I really learned what ECHO was, I said, man, you know, let's do it, let's get involved, and here I am.
I wanted to make an impact. This is a very important issue in our society, and it causes generational trauma. And you have to lead by example. Society will accept the worst behaviors, and we as a community cannot allow that to happen. And one of the ways that I can make a difference is serving on the board.
So as a mother of 2 young boys, I can't even imagine them going through a situation like that, and then thinking about all the other kids in Kentucky who have been abused verbally, sexually, emotionally. It brings me to tears thinking that someone could do that to a child, and then that's not a world that I want my children to live in.
Because I think this is something that people don't talk about. If it doesn't impact you directly, do you care? Do you not? I mean, really, you're not even thinking about it. So, or you're not compassionate about it. And I think ECHO opens up that door to educate people, to make it relevant, to make people aware that this is happening around you, right in your household. But trust me and believe that when your kid or your child goes to school, they're running into somebody that's experienced this.
I think it's always been meaningful to me, you know, to try and make children live in a safer world and, you know, have the ability to reach their potential, to work with families. But in these past 30 years, since I've really delved into the darker side of family life with the abuse and the violence that kids are exposed to, it's really critical. And I'd love to see no need, but I think that there'll always be some need because people are people and don't always do the right thing.
Why is ECHO's mission meaningful to me? I think most of it because of the word prevention, right? If we can stop a thing from happening, so often when we look at domestic violence, we forget about the children because they're experiencing, you know, really firsthand visually child abuse, right? The abuse of watching the abuse of a parent, whether it's male or female, whatever it is. So being able to prevent, being able to educate the community, being able to educate educators, being able to talk to business owners, judges, and police, or whoever is in that space about how we can take steps forward to prevent child abuse.
I would have to say the most challenging thing would be the things that you don't see. There are a lot that goes on with kids that, unless they tell you, you wouldn't know that they're going through a rough time. We have a lot of kids in the district. They come in smiling every day because we are their safe haven. School's their safe haven. And then you don't know their stories of resilience until they sit and talk to you. That's when we find out that they've had that rough night or that they're going through this. And that's when they reach out. So I would say one of the toughest things is when you don't, a lot of people think it's just physical. It's the things that we don't see.